Hello, Cougars. Hey, we're going to be learning about animals coming up here in the next couple of weeks. And I found a book called What Do You Do with a Tail Like This? This book won a silver Caldecott medal, and it's by Steve Jenkins and Robin Page. What do you do with a tail like this? Animals use their noses, ears, tails, eyes, mouths, and feet in very different ways. See if you can guess which animal each part belongs to and how it is used. At the back of the book, you can find out more about these animals. What do you do with a nose like this? Do you recognize some of those noses? I think I recognize this one, maybe this one. Maybe that one, but boy, look at that weird nose. If you're a hyena, I thought that was a dog nose. If you're a hyena, you find your next meal with your nose. If you're a platypus, you use your nose to dig in the mud. It's called a duck-billed platypus. If you're an elephant, you use your nose to give yourself a bath. If you're a mole, you use your nose to find your way underground. If you're an alligator, you breathe through your nose while hiding in the water. Do you see how he can put his eyes and his nostrils of his nose above the water so he can breathe? That's sneaky. What do you do with ears like these? Do you recognize any of these as ears? Some of them look like ears, others don't. If you're a jackrabbit, you use your ears to keep cool. If you're a bat, you see with your ears. If you're a cricket, you hear with ears that are on your knees. If you're a hippopotamus, you close your ears when you're underwater. Just like you can close your eyes, hippopotamuses, they can close their ears. If you're a humpback whale, you hear sounds hundreds of miles away. What do you do with a tail like this? I recognize some of those tails, I think. If you're a giraffe, you brush off pesky flies with your tail. Look at this one. If you're a skunk, you lift your tail to warn that a stinky spray is on its way. If you're a lizard, you break off your tail to get away. They break off their tail and they just grow a new one. If you're a scorpion, your tail can give you a nasty sting. If you're a monkey, you hang from a tree by your tail. What do you do with eyes like these? If you're an eagle, you spot tiny animals from high in the air. If you have an eagle eye, have you heard of having an eagle eye? That means you can see things far away. It's easy to spot things. If you're a chameleon, you look two ways at once. One eye can go that way and one eye can go that way. If you're a four-eyed fish, you look above and below the water at the same time. If you're a horned lizard, you squirt blood out of your eyes. Oh my. If you're a bush baby, you use your large eyes to see clearly at night. What do you do with feet like these? If you're a chimpanzee, you feed yourself with your feet. If you're a blue-footed booby, you do a dance. Look at his blue feet. If you're a water strider, you walk on water. If you're a gecko, you use your sticky feet to walk on the ceiling. If you're a mountain goat, you leap from ledge to ledge. What do you do with a mouth like this? If you're a pelican, you use your mouth as a net to scoop up fish. If you're a mosquito, you use your mouth to suck blood. If you're an egg-eating snake, you use your mouth to swallow eggs larger than your head. If you're an anteater, you capture termites with your long tongue. Do you see his long tongue? And it can go out really long. If you're an archerfish, you catch insects by shooting them down with a stream of water. I read a book about that archerfish once. I wonder if you heard that book. All right, now we have all of the animals and some details. Since it's a lot of reading, I'm going to pick one out of each category. So first we did noses. And remember that star-nosed mole that had those weird little fingers on the end? The star-nosed mole has 22 fleshy fingers on the end of its nose. This mole spends its whole life underground where eyes are useless, so it uses its nose to find its way through a maze of tunnels. The mole eats worms, snails, and insects that it locates with the help of its sensitive nose, using both smell and touch. A star-nosed mole grows to 7 inches long. Now, ears. Let's see. Should we learn about the field cricket's ears? Those are the ones that had ears on his knees. The field cricket's ears are on its 2 front legs. Openings in the cricket's hard outer covering lead to chambers inside each leg. By pointing its body and its ears in different directions, the cricket can tell where a sound is coming from. Field crickets are about 3/4 of an inch long, and they live throughout North America. They make their familiar chirping sound by rubbing the edges of their wings together. The warmer the temperatures, the faster they chirp. Counting the number of chirps in 15 seconds and adding 40 gives a fairly accurate temperature reading of degrees in Fahrenheit. That's interesting. Just from a cricket you can learn how to tell what temperature it is. Let's see, let's look at tails. How about that scorpion? The scorpion is an ancient relative of the spider. Scorpion fossils older than 400 million years have been found, some of them 3 feet long. Today, scorpions grow to a maximum length of 8.5 inches. They live in warm climates throughout the world and eat spiders, lizards, and small mammals. Hunting at night, scorpions locate their prey by touch and use their poison stinger at the end of their tail to paralyze an animal before it can get away. All right, next is eyes. Should we read about that horned lizard and who shoots blood out of his eyes? The horned lizard, often called the horny toad, lives in the American Southwest. It is small, 3 to 5 inches long. 3 to 5, about there. And is covered with sharp spikes. This lizard feeds on ants and other insects and protects itself in an unusual way. If it's threatened, it first tries holding very still. If that doesn't work, it puffs itself up with air to make itself look larger. If it still feels threatened, it will squirt streams of blood from the corners of its eyes. This probably confuses an attacker, giving the horned lizard time to get away. There's one more category. No, 2 more. Feet. Should we read about the gecko's feet? If you spent time in the tropics, you've probably seen small lizards walking on walls and ceilings. These noisy insect-eating reptiles are called geckos. Their name probably comes from the unusual chirping sound that they make. The bottom of the gecko's feet are covered with millions of tiny hairs and pads that use an electrical charge to cling to just about any surface, even a sheet of glass. Most geckos are about 7 inches long. The last one is mouths. I think I want to read about that egg-eating snake. The egg-eating snake has jaws that can unhinge and very elastic skin, which allows it to eat eggs that are wider than its own body. So when a person opens their mouth, there's a hinge right back here. It won't let you open any wider, but that can be unhinged on this snake and stretches way open so they can eat something really big. It sometimes takes the snakes several hours to swallow an egg. It has no teeth, but breaks the egg with a special bone in its throat. This African snake eats as many eggs as it can during the bird's breeding season. Then it goes without food for the rest of the year. It grows to about 2.5 feet in length. Well, I hope you enjoyed What Do You Do with a Tail Like This? I hope you have a great day.